The instructions say label each segment with its length. Use the square root symbol to express lengths that are not whole numbers. I want to start by looking at line segment I. Line segment I is a horizontal line segment. It goes straight left and right, and so it's really easy to find the length of line segment I. We can see that line segment I is 1, 2, 3 units long. So the length of line segment I, the length L, is 3 units. Now you can see that most of the line segments on this page are tilted line segments. They're not line segments that are strictly horizontal or strictly vertical. When that's the case, we can't just count how long the line segment is. We're going to have to use our knowledge of squares and square roots to help us. So for each of these tilted line segments, you're going to start by drawing a tilted square. I'm going to use segment D as an example. So I'm going to draw side lengths onto segment D to make a square. So there we have a square that uses line segment D. Now the reason for drawing the square is now I can find the area of the square. Remember, we've talked about how to deconstruct these tilted squares into other shapes. So I'm going to draw in some slope triangles to split up D into some shapes I can find the area of. I know the area of this little square here in the middle is just 1. I know that the area of this little triangle up here, I can do base times height, so 2 times 1 divided by 2 is also 1. So each of these triangles has an area of 1. All together, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the area of square D is 5 square units. That means, remember, that the side length is going to be the square root of 5. Remember, if you have the area of a square, you take the square root of the area to get the side length. So the side length, the length of segment D, is the square root of 5. Now, the square root of 5 is not a square root that we can do in our head. 5 is not a perfect square number, so the square root of 5 is not going to be a nice whole number. So we'll just leave the answer as the square root of 5. So for the rest of these tilted segments, you need to draw tilted squares, find their areas, and then take the square root of the area to find the exact side length of each tilted segment.